A single superstar can carry a team only so far. NBA playoff teams meticulously design their offense and defensive systems to create consistency. The same principle applies to businesses. While it's tempting to rely on top performers, long term success comes from building dependable processes and scalable systems that everyone can execute. What's up, everyone? I'm Jarod Lehn, and welcome to Fit for Business, episode 71. Just to be clear, I've got nothing to sell you, but if you find this video helpful in any shape, way, or form, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and share. It really could mean the world, not just to me, but to someone else who might benefit from it too. So, the Golden State Warriors. The dynasty is one of the most remarkable success stories in sports today. While they certainly had standout players like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, their sustained excellence really wasn't driven by just one superstar, right? The true secret to their success lay in their system driven approach, the next man up mentality, right? When a star player was out due to an injury or the team faced adversity, others seamlessly stepped in to keep that machine running, right? That philosophy provides an invaluable lesson for businesses like you and me, ours, striving to achieve the latter long term success. At the heart of the Warriors strategy was a system that encouraged every player to contribute, right? Their ball movement, disciplined defense, and unselfish play style didn't rely on one person to carry that team back then. Instead, the system empowered each individual to play their strengths with a larger framework. Similarly, businesses thrive when they focusing on developing repeatable processes that support every team member's contribution, right? Whether that's an employee or a 1099. And by creating dependable systems, companies reduce their reliance on key individuals and instead emphasize collaborative success, right? Enabling consistent performance across the board. Equally important to the Warriors dynasty, their adaptability. They didn't just create a rigid system, right, and stick to it no matter what. I would say they evolved over time to stay ahead of their competition. This flexibility helped them maintain their dominance even as other teams adapted to counter their strategies. For businesses, adaptability is just as crucial. Markets, as we know, shift, customer expectations change, and competitors innovate. So to stay competitive, every business must be willing to tweak their systems, explore new approaches, and empower your team to innovate within that structure, right? Adaptability ensures that these processes don't stagnate and the teams are prepared to respond to unexpected challenges. So ultimately, the Warriors' next man up mindset is a testament to teamwork, right? And trust. No matter who stepped onto the court, every player understood their role and had the confidence of the team behind them. In a sense, businesses can foster the same culture, right? By investing in their employees, providing clear, defined roles, and encouraging personal growth, right? As we all should. When everyone knows their contribution matters, big or small, they truly feel valued. They're more likely to step up when it counts, right? Just like the Warriors elevated their collective performance through driven systems, play, and collaboration. Businesses can reach new heights, right? Your business can get bigger, building stronger processes, nurturing teamwork, and adaptable in the face of change. Right? The NBA playoffs, which are happening right now, they're more than just a showcase of athletic talent. It's like really a masterclass in adaptability, right? Each game that we see is like a chess match where coaches study their opponents' moves to make strategic adjustments in the swing, right, in the momentum to their favor. Lineups are tweaked, right? Defensive strategies evolve, and new plays introduced, right, to exploit weaknesses, right? We see it. We've been seeing it this whole playoffs. These changes are proof that success isn't guaranteed by a skill alone. It's the ability to adapt to changing conditions that separate champions from the rest. And here's one classic example of adaptability. In action occurs when a star player faces double teaming, right? So picture this. Instead of forcing plays through the star, teams step back, right? They step back and use the pressure to their advantage, right? They probably adjust their strategy by creating opportunities for other role players to step up and sink key shots, right? This not only keeps the defensive guessing, but also highlights the value of a flexible game plan. Like in basketball, businesses that remain stuck in old habits or rigid methods eventually stagnate. Agility is essential to handle the unexpected and leverage challenges, opportunities for innovations. So for businesses, staying agile means keeping a close eye right on your competitive landscape. See what's going on. Just as coaches analyze the game footage to prepare for their next matchup, business leaders can monitor industry trends, track competition, and actively seek feedback from customers or employees, right? Whether it's identifying new customer needs or spotting shifts in the market dynamics, constant vigilance, right, helps you to stay one step ahead. The willingness to experiment, much like a coach reshuffling lineups, allow businesses to respond effectively to these evolving changes or challenges, excuse me. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow, and adaptability ensures you're ready for whatever comes next. The takeaway is simple but powerful. Pivot when necessary. Don't cling to a strategy just because it worked before. Evaluate your current approach, listen to feedback, and redefine your game plan regularly. This mindset not only positions your business to weather obstacles, but also creates opportunities to thrive in challenging environments. Much like an NBA's team, right? Their ability to tweak their tactics mid-series can lead to championship success, right? A business's agility, flexibility, and willingness to adapt hopefully can transform your challenge into growth opportunities. The NBA playoff series are often defined, as I said, by contributions of superstars, but the outcome is equally shaped by the true unsung heroes, right? These are the six men. These are the bench players, the defensive specialists, or role players, right, who step up in these critical moments to support their team's success. They might not score the most points, but their impact is undeniable. Just think of Andre Iguodala, who earned the NBA Finals MVP award for the Golden State Warriors, not for his scoring stats, but his exceptional defense and his leadership, right? His ability to excel in his role proved vital to the Warriors' victory, demonstrating that championships are truly, really a collective effort. So while the same concept applies to businesses, like I've been saying during this podcast, while leadership and top performing team members might grab the spotlight, the quiet contributions of others are just really as important. Behind every big deal or major breakthrough, there's an employee who handles essential tasks that keep everything running smoothly, right? Just think about companies like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They have team members upon team members that are there behind the scenes, making sure things effectively are working, right? These might be customer service representatives who provide outstanding support, the IT specialists, right? These people behind the scenes maintaining crucial systems, right? Or the ops staff to ensure efficiency, right? It's easy to focus on the headline results, but ignoring behind the scenes efforts weakens the foundation of any fucking business, right? Just as any NBA team wins by valuing every player's role, a business thrives when they recognize and celebrate the contribution of the entire team. Acknowledging these efforts boosts morale and fosters a sense of belonging. I shit you not. When people feel their work appreciated, they're more inclined to go above and beyond to keep them from moving forward, right? So businesses should make a habit of spotlighting these contributions in team meetings, newsletters, or one-on-one conversations. Sometimes all you need is an honest thank you, right? A public acknowledgement can have a greater impact than any monetary reward. Post about your employee on social media. Thank them. They will love it, right? Success in any arena, be it sports or business, is really about individual brilliance alone. Rarely. It's about how every piece fits together and functions unanimously and seamlessly as a unit. These teams that prioritize collaboration, respect every contribution, and lift up the role players will always have a competitive edge by no means. By building a culture where everyone's efforts are valued, businesses can really emulate the enduring strength of championship teams. Sometimes the biggest victories come not from the star performers, but, like we said, the whole entire collective power of the team. And communication is lifeblood of any winning team. And nowhere is more evident and the intensity of what's happening now in the NBA playoffs. On the courts, players are constantly communicating. They call out screens, signal switches, and adjust defensive strategies in real time to stay one step ahead of the opponents. Off the court, what do you think's happening? Discussions between coaches and players are equally viable. Those sessions ensure the entire team is really aligned on strategy, enabling them to execute plays without a doubt. So whether, again, that's in sports or business, that open communication, you have to have that action plan. Teams perform best when communication flows freely and consistently, right? This doesn't mean just sending out instructions or updates. It's really about creating an environment where information is shared in real time to address challenges and seize opportunities, right? Regular briefings, team meetings, and active collaboration are essential to ensure that everyone remains on the same page. Beyond immediate execution, communication also plays a critical role in building long-term alignment. These NBA teams don't just rely on quick exchanges during games. They spend hours and hours in huddles and film sessions dissecting performance and really refining their approach. Similarly, businesses need to invest in these higher level conversations, setting clear objectives at the outset of a project and checking in regularly to track progress ensures everyone remains focused and motivated. Strategic alignment just doesn't happen. It's cultivated by clear communication at every stage. And that successful communication isn't just top down, it's a two-way street. Businesses flourish when feedback is encouraged and valued, just as NBA teams thrive when players provide input to improve plays or strategy. Feedback enables teams to adapt and refine their execution, really making sure it doesn't stick to plan, right, for the sake of it, but to evolve to meet current demands. And fostering this culture of open dialogue helps businesses like sports teams achieve consistent results. When everyone feels heard and informed, the entire team moves together with purpose and precision. The NBA playoffs are really the ultimate test of mental toughness. Teams face double digit deficits, relentless pressure, and the challenge of performing in front of hostile crowds. Yet, time and time again, we see players dig deep, regroup, and mount remarkable comebacks. The ability to stay focused and resilient under intense scrutiny separates ordinary teams from those vying for a championship, right? That same grit and determination can be the key for businesses striving really for sustained success in these competitive markets today. And let's talk about setbacks. Setbacks, as we know, are inevitable in both basketball and business. Just as teams lose a game or fall behind in series, businesses like ours encounter losses, missed opportunities, and competition. What defines success isn't whether setbacks occur, but how teams respond to them, right? And the same goes for winning organizations where they foster a culture where challenges are viewed as opportunities, right? To learn and improve rather than reasons to give up, like a coach breaking down film from a tough loss. Businesses must encourage their leaders to really analyze what went wrong, make these adjustments, and come back stronger. And at the heart of building resilience, right, is a growth mindset. These players don't dwell on mistakes. Instead, they step onto the court with the belief that the effort and learning can change the outcome. So, as business owners, you got to adapt the same perspective, treating every setback as a stepping stone rather than just a stumbling block. Resilient teams, right? They're focused on long game, showing persistence even when progress isn't immediate. By celebrating these small wins and maintaining perspective companies, right? You can bolster morale and keep people motivated, even during the toughest of times. Ultimately, resilience in this business, any business, is about cultivating a mindset, perseverance, and adaptability, right? Just as these teams in the NBA endure playoff fatigue by trusting their preparation and really leaning on one another. You have to thrive when they foster collab and shared responsibility. Not cookie cuttering, not sugarcoating anything, right? Any business leader listening or seeing this, or anybody that works for any of these big businesses or even like mid-sized businesses, right? Everybody needs to have open communication and wholeheartedly recognize team efforts, right? It basically helps to reinforce the challenge, right, that overcome together, right? With the right mindset, the right culture, setbacks transform into fuel, right? It drives innovation and growth, right? Whether that's losing a big client or having a system crash, having the team come together that can help propel you guys further. Now, not to keep hammering away, but the NBA playoffs may obviously revolve around one thing, and that's basketball. But the lessons they offer extend beyond the court, right? It showcases the power of that strategic thinking, seamless teamwork, and relentless execution under pressure, right? So just as these playoff teams build systems that maximize every player's contribution, we can still thrive by developing these repeatable processes and frameworks, right? That really helps everybody perform at their best. That's the ability to adapt, whether it's a mid-series adjustment or a pivot in whatever strategy you have. That could be the difference between staying competitive and falling behind, right? You hear it all the time. Stick to the plan, remain agile, be responsive to challenges, right? And you'll always have the upper hand. What I've seen, I think businesses really, make it your own version of the NBA playoff. Make it your own playbook, the NBA playoff, the NBA finals, right? Value every contribution from every star performer, behind the scenes role players, right? Because that success is always going to be a collective effort. Communicate with intention, foster alignment across your team, really ensure everybody is heard, big and small. Above all, cultivate this resilience by encouraging a growth mindset, right? With the right combination of strategy, adaptability, and teamwork and mental toughness, you really can hopefully transform challenges, right? And make that move forward. So, guys, this has been the Fit for Business podcast with me, Jarod Lehn. If you haven't already, go ahead and tap that subscribe button or follow button. We'll see you next week.